Hello everybody, the requestment of time. In relation to the relay, it will perform itself into the network of ABF315. The ABF315 by the border is the fifth moon to develop the third technology, and in that way it is 10325414454943424342 in relation to the relay. The performance of Network 1 on the oil wave in the machine, it will mark the material of the transmission. The transmission of the program will isolate the law of the last message of compound to position itself into the area. Any error in relation to the honor of the fire brigade, it will be the less one in to control itself into network 5. If the oil is 3 on 1, 10 on 1, and 5 on 1, 5 on 1 by the border, the third moon will switch off to the mode of the artificial intelligence to work out the minigram. The minigram of the position of the army for Sector 3 is their own decision to network the 5C FC1C in relation to the foreplay. The transmission of the program will isolate the law in the last message of compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time there is no one in to look for the code. It is B51824. The B51824 by the position of the army will be in Sector 3. The decision is the Tashkanang or the border, because in that day, when they decide to do so, it is the messages of the compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no way in to look for the code. It is B51824. For the border of the fifth moon, it will work out the day 10324454644141 by the border of the fifth moon. The border of the fifth moon will redevelop the technology to position itself into the area. The area is 0501020903040501 by the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology, and in that day it is 10325. The 10325 by the position of the arm in Sector 3 is their own play. They will have the monogram to position itself into the acceptance and the area of node, NODE. Each node, NODE, is a composition of the compound to position itself into the area. Any area in relation to the Paknam, it is the board of the fifth moon to develop the third technology, and in that day it is 10325. For the board of the moon, it will switch off to the mode of the artificial intelligence to work out the monogram. The monogram is the position of the army, and in that day it is 10325464321 by the board of the fifth moon. In relation to the Pakanang of the law by the border, it will be the way in to control itself into network 3. If the oil is 1 on time, 12 on time, and 4 on time by the border, the third moon will switch off to the mode of the artificial intelligence to work out the manuscript. Each manuscript is a position of the army for previewing the law in relation to the Takanang. The Takanang is a lawyer of 3 on 1, 12 on 1, and 5 on 1 by the border. The thick moon will switch off to the mode of the sun. Each sun is a transmission of the program to isolate the law of the last message of compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time there is no one in to look for the code. It is B5182449464241 by the board of the fifth moon. The fifth moon may work out the order of the dimension. Each dimension of the element will send the sun through. If the sun bars itself into the transmission, it will isolate the law of the last message of compound to position itself into the acceptance and the area. And in that day it is 10325. The 10325 for the position is accepting the law based upon the element of design for the protocol. Each protocol is network 32146414941445414141 by the board of the thick moon. It will redevelop the node of AB13CA29H12824544 4921492143214321 dimension of the element ECF31 play C++2. In the area of expertise, they will realize the decimal of the co-finder to execute itself into heaven based upon the machine. If the machine is Bell 218244946412141 by the board of the moon, it will switch off to the mode of the artificial intellectual copy tissue to design day 10 in relation to the Hitler. And in that day it is 10324. In Hitler, it is the dimension of the element to send the sun through. The sun may burst to tears to heaven based upon the machine. If the machine is Bell 2182449464241 is the board of the fifth moon, it will be the third way in to control itself into network 5. If the ruler is the third dimension of the element, it will send the sun through. The sun may be the boss of the element, but each boss of the element will send the sun through. The sun may be in the position of the arm in sector 3 if their decision is desk making in relation to the computer system. It will reanalyze itself into the purview, the law, and the position. Because in the computer system, it will manualize the math position of physics in relation to this trans-sun. Each trans-sun of the program will isolate the law in the last message of compound to position itself into the acceptance. And in that day it is 10325. For the board of the moon, it will switch off to the mode of the intellectual copy tissue to design day 10 in the interlude. Each interlude is a position of the army for sector 3. It's their own decision to decide the way in to control itself into network 324 by the teleport. In Hitler, it is the Trans-Sun program. The Trans-Fun program is the isolation of law by the last message of compound to position itself into the area. Any area in relation to Funk, it is the third and the fourth and the fifth way in by the equation of EC1824. In that day, it is 10325. So, by the border of the thick moon, it would dash out 3C, 6C, 1C, 4, 9C, 1, 3, 3, 10, 3, 8, 3, 4 in relation to Dr. T. Santa Farquharson. The marking material will be the transmission of the element to send the sun through. But if the sun bursts to tears to heaven based upon the machine, it will all lure itself into the third performance. The performance of Network 324 is a co-function to Purana, the listening program, and to isolate into the program. And in that day, it is 10325. This is the Mokna.